Hey YouTubers, Crack Ninja 23 here. What I'm going to go over now is just basically how to get the motorcycle to move. Okay? In my first video I went over the basic controls. You got the clutch here and the brakes on this side, and then of course the rear brake is down here, and your gears are down here. Your selector lever for the gears on this side, down by the foot pedals. Alright, I hope you guys can see this. Alright, this is the clutch. You're going to squeeze it in. I always cover the brake at the same time with this hand, and then you're going to kick it down into first. Alright, and basically whenever you initially start riding, alright, you want to ease out on the clutch. Alright, I'm not going to give it any gas. I am completely off the throttle right here and solely on the clutch, and I'm just going to release it. That's where you find that it engages. And like I said, this is not touching the fuel, and once you get it to roll a little bit and you get it going, you can completely let off the clutch and the bike will roll all by itself with no gas. Alright, so that's the first tip. Wow, this bike goes 12 miles an hour just letting off the clutch. It's nice. Alright, again, just ease it out, and you see the right. I let out maybe an inch, and the bike is already starting to engage, or the clutch is engaging. Alright, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to let it move. I'm going to walk with it first till it gets rolling. Alright, and my feet are up. Clutch is still in the same spot. The faster I go, the more I let off, until I release all the way out. Alright, nothing. No gas, no nothing. Alright, so that's an excellent way to find your clutch. And if you just practice with that a few times, just get used to it. Even while you're rolling, just sit here and go in and out. You'll hear your bike. You'll hear your bike, and you'll get used to the noises. Just listen to the engine. You'll hear it. It'll bog down a little bit when you engage the clutch. So I just like to do that. I'll get it, and I'll just engage and disengage the clutch, getting used to the feel of it. And the more you do this, you'll become a better shifter faster, because you'll just know exactly how far in and out the clutch has to be for you to get going. Now, say that you're actually in town driving. You probably hear my bike. I give it some gas. That's just for a little bit faster takeoff. This is a little bit slower, like I said. As you can see how slow it is compared to a throttle takeoff, which is just at the same time. As soon as I find my bike trying to push forward, just give it a little gas and just roll on the throttle as you let off. It's the same thing simultaneously. You just roll on, let off. All right. So you're going to roll. Just like that. And the clutch in. Let's see if you guys see that. Alright, next in the video. By the way, if you guys have any questions, additional questions about any of this stuff that I'm covering, just leave me a comment, ask your questions, video reply, whatever you guys got, and I'll go in more into depth if you guys need me to. But just a basic recap of finding your clutch, where it engages and disengages. Alright, like I said, just work it, play with it, power walk your bike. You'll get a good feel for it. And I highly recommend anybody buying a bike that hasn't ridden before, go through these motions before you actually get out there and try to ride. If you don't want to be a stall master, then I highly recommend you do this. I had a buddy that claims that he rode for years, and no, it's Tony, and that dude was the stall master. I couldn't fucking go anywhere without that dude stalling. I had to slow down and wait for him. So just get a feel for your bike. What was I going to cover next? Okay, I'm going to cover some basic turning techniques. Alright. For your slower turns, I'll cover counterbalancing later. After I get out of this parking lot and get back on the road, I'll cover some counterbalancing techniques. But for now, you're going to turn the handlebars. Anything less than 15 miles an hour, you'll turn the handlebars in the direction you want to go, and the bike will lean, but you want to stay upright and center. You don't want to lean with your bike or you'll tip it. Alright? The only time you lean with your bike is when you're counter steering. So again, you'll notice, well, you can't notice, but your body stays upright. You let the bike shift in between your legs, and you stay high on it. I mean, you don't shift your butt on top of it, your upper body, your torso. You just stay upright and center as the bike leans. Alright, and now we'll go a little bit faster. I'm going up over 15 miles an hour now. And this is where you can counter steer. And I'll just give you a basic overview of this. I'm going to actually push the handlebar the opposite way I'm going. And again, if you're going, counter steering around 15 miles an hour, you still stay upright on the bike and let the bike lean between your legs. Okay, and then that's just basic technique. Alright, if you need to turn sharper, you push. Alright, I'm turning left, so I'm going to push the front handlebars right, away from the turn. Again, I'm turning left, I push the handlebars right. It leans the bike, it makes the turn. And that's at 16 miles an hour. So again, I'm turning left, push the handlebars right, roll on the throttle. And don't brake in your turns, especially when you're using the counter steer. Alright, push the handlebars to the right, lean the bike, and it turns. Alright. Left turn. Turn the handlebars to the right and counter steer. Leaning the bike, keeping my body upright. Alright, now I'm going to cover stopping. Alright, when you stop your bike, and like I said, for you advanced riders and people that have been riding, this is not to insult your intelligence. This video is solely for new riders that don't know this information. But you've got to pull in your clutch, and then you use both brakes, the front and back, for in-town driving or anything like that. You always want to cover both your brakes. Like I said in the first video, your front brake supplies 90%, I think, 90% of your stopping power, and the back is only 10 or something like that. I know it's a huge ratio difference. So just whenever I'm doing slower turns, I usually only use the back brake, just because the slower turns, when you're turning the handlebar and you use your front brake, you'll feel the bike try to slam down. You don't want to do that. All right, it'll cause a low side wreck, and you don't want to do that. And if you only use the back brake in a turn, in a faster turn, you could do a high side, and that's where you go over the top of the bike, and you're pretty much done, depending on how fast you go. Alright, so once again, alright, you're going, pulling the clutch, pull the brakes. Alright, and you're going to, like I said, pull in the clutch, ease on the brakes, and you're going to put your left foot down on the ground first, and then your right foot, because you're covering the rear brake on your right foot. Alright, so again, clutch, both brakes. Okay? Alright, like I said, if you guys have any questions, just comment, and I'll reply to your answers as soon as possible.